Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wild. Today we are talking about the new Doordash pilot program, Top Dasher 2.0. I know it seems like I made up that title, and the truth is, it is. Doordash didn't actually give a title to this pilot program. No, seriously, they just forgot to put it. Literally, it just says overview. So first off, fail on Doordash on that part.
Failure!
Doordash just released a new pilot program that a lot of people are talking about, which some people are referring to it as Top Dasher 2.0. Some people are just bashing on it because it looks like it's a terrible program. And it probably is. With that said, I'm actually going to go over what Doordash tells you, how it actually is, and everything in between on the subject. So with that said, let's get started. Doordash is introducing a new pilot program that gives eligible Dashers priority access to higher paying orders. $2 plus per month. When they have a customer rating of at least 4.5 and an acceptance rate at or above 50%, we're also giving select Dashers with the high customer rating but miss the acceptance rate an opportunity to unlock priority access by resetting their acceptance rate. So first off, in order for you to qualify, you need a 4.5 customer rating, which if you're at that point, I don't know what you're doing. You're probably screwing up somewhere. And an acceptance rating of 50% or more. Keep in mind, most people would be lucky to be in a market where 20% is natural. Now that being said, the opportunity to unlock priority access by resetting your acceptance rate, but if you have a high customer rating, what is a high customer rating? Can you explain that? Of course not. This is Doordash. How you benefit. Earn more while you dash. As a qualifying dasher, you will be given the priority access to higher paying offers in your area, so you can make more of your time on the road. This is actually affecting the priority of orders. For those of you who don't know, if you're sitting right next to a restaurant and you're not getting orders from that restaurant, but other people who are further away are, that's because they have a higher priority. I made a video talking all about ways you can actually increase your priority. I'll leave that in the description. But I don't know how much weight this is going to have in comparison to the other levels of priority. Unlock more high-paying offers. If there are multiple dashers nearby who can take on one of these offers, we will break the tie in your favor of prioritized dashers like you. Exactly my point. Points 1 and 2 are basically the same point, but said in a different way, so that way it seems more enticing when it's not. Frequently asked questions. How will the new benefit work? Oh, here we go. Here's some real content. This limited time benefit will prioritize nearby qualifying dashers for higher paying offers. This means that if your customer rating is at least 4.5 and you keep your acceptance rating at or above 50%, you will have a better chance of seeing higher paying orders that pay at least $2 per month. If you keep it at or above 70%, you will see even more high paying offers. You'll still see high paying offers if your acceptance rating is below 50, but they will be less frequent. Okay, so there's a lot that one statement actually said without saying. Let's start with the first and obvious. This is clearly an addition to Top Dasher without being an addition to Top Dasher. Let me explain. So Top Dasher is a program where at the end of every month, if you have a 4.7 customer rating or better, 200 or more lifetime deliveries, done 100 deliveries during the course of the month, have an acceptance rating over 70% and a completion rating over 95%, you qualify as a Top Dasher. I'll leave a video talking a little bit deeper about Top Dasher in the description, but the point of that is that usually what people would do, they would cherry pick throughout the month, and during the last couple of days of the month, they would just take every single order to get their acceptance rate above 70%, because acceptance rating is based on the last 100 deliveries that you do. And then because of that, by the time the qualifications are checked between, let's say, the 31st and the 1st, first and the qualifications are set, you made Top Dasher. Top Dasher is yours for the course of the month, and then you could go right back to cherry picking. Now, some people like doing that because they like the idea of just being able to turn on an app and go, but most people find that scheduling themselves ahead of time actually makes them more money, so they don't even bother with that anymore. But for those of them who do decide to go for Top Dasher, now this is kind of filling in the gap between the beginning of the month and the end of the month. Now they're not going to have all these Top Dashers turn to cherry pickers for like a month and then get Top Dasher last couple days of the month and then go. Now they're going to have people keep at and be very intentional about their 50% acceptance rate. I still don't think that's a good idea so far, but let's keep going. What are higher paying offers? Deliveries are considered higher paying when they pay $2 per mile, inclusive of tips and any additional pay. You'll see a tag in your app that tells you when an order is considered to be high paying. Okay, so let's have a look. This is a Joe's Burger order, 5 miles total and $7.50 plus. And it gives a little insignia saying the total will be higher. So I already hate everything about this. Number one, they reduce the dollars to miles ratio. It actually shows less of the tip based on distance, based on this example. So actually speaking, they are being even less transparent with you this time. I talked to all about the dollars to mile ratio on Doordash, how distance affects hidden tips, in my Doordash hidden tips video. I'll leave that in the description as well. I know I'm plugging a lot, but it is very important for you to understand this, so that way you understand why this so far seems like a terrible program. What requirements must I meet to qualify? Dashers must have a customer rating of at least 4.5%, an acceptance rating of 50% or higher to unlock priority access to higher orders. Dashers who have an acceptance rate of 70% or higher will receive even more priority for higher paying orders. So basically, if you keep Top Dasher status throughout the course of the month, we'll have a higher priority to these higher paying orders. That doesn't mean that's worth it. This program does not change the characters of the customer. Because it's inclusive of tips, because DoorDash is not the reason you are getting money from DoorDash. 80% of the money is coming from 20% of the cost. 20% of the cost is from customer tips. Can I still decline orders? Dashers can still decline orders based on their personal preference. As long as you accept more than you decline and maintain an acceptance rate of over 50% or higher, you'll get priority access to higher paying orders. I still say that it makes more sense to just use the priority methods that I talked about before. This doesn't even make sense. How does the reset work? Your current acceptance rating is calculated based on the latest 100 delivery opportunities you received. If you opt into resetting your acceptance rate, your existing acceptance rate will be cleared. You may see some new Dasher messaging in the app. So basically what they do is they basically reset your acceptance rating as if you're a brand new Dasher. Once you reset, you'll have 2 weeks to build up your acceptance rate. After this initial 2-week period, your new acceptance rate will be used to determine whether or not you keep receiving priority for higher paying offers. You can always check your acceptance rate in your earnings tab in your Dasher app. Here's how you opt in for your reset. One thing I will say, it seems like you need to opt in specifically. You need to choose to be a part of it. Not that it's automatically placed upon you. Select the option to reset in your app or in the email and fill out the form with the email tied to your Dasher account. Please note that you can only reset your acceptance rate once. So either you do it now or you don't do it. It's that simple. It'll take up to 48 hours for your acceptance rate to reset. So based on that statement, it seems like someone is manually doing it in the back. After resetting, if your customer rating is at or above 4.5, you'll start receiving priority access to higher paying orders over the next 14 days as you rebuild your acceptance rate. So during the first 14 days, your acceptance rate isn't going to matter as much. After 14 days, we'll determine your eligibility using your acceptance rate for your latest 100 delivery opportunities built up during the 14-day window. If your new acceptance rating is below 50% after 14 days, you can accept more opportunities to increase it and get access to higher paying orders. So actually speaking, it seems like it's based on real-time acceptance rate, not calendar-based acceptance rate. Calendar-based acceptance rate would be every month it would reset and then you're in the program. Every week it would reset and then it would in program. This is real-time acceptance rating. based on the way they're wording it. What happens if I don't want to reset my acceptance rate? If you do not opt in to reset, your priority will be determined based on your existing acceptance rate. Dashers with a 70% acceptance rate will get the most priority, followed by dashers with an acceptance rate of at least 50%. Dashers below 50% will not receive priority on higher paying orders. Those dashers will still see some higher paying orders, but dashers with a higher acceptance rate will get priority on these orders. So just because you don't get priority on the orders that they're talking about doesn't mean that there's no priority at all. Like, they're saying from this program specifically, you're not getting any priority. And honestly, with gas prices the way they are, I don't think that it even makes sense to consider that. I already have an acceptance rate over 50%. Do I need to opt in to get higher priority for higher paying orders? If your current acceptance rate is already at or above 50%, then you do not need to opt in. You'll automatically get priority to those higher paying orders. You don't need to, you'll just start getting them. What happens if my acceptance rate or customer rating drops below the minimum to qualify? If your customer rating falls under 4.5, your acceptance rating falls under 50%, you will no longer qualify to receive priority access to higher paying orders. You will requalify as soon as you raise your customer rating to 4.5 and your acceptance rating to 50%. Why is Doordash launching this? I want to give my answer to that so bad, but let's see what they say. We're introducing this pilot to improve the speed and quality of service for merchants and customers and help dashers who provide meaningful customer service to earn more for doing so. Through feedback from dashers, we recognize that accepting all orders wasn't always rewarding, and we want to correct that. We'll continue to monitor feedback from dashers about this pilot. It wasn't rewarding because you weren't paying anything for them. So instead of doing the two things, like literally there are two things that DoorDash does that everyone hates, is number one, they don't pay anything, and we're basically depending on the customer tips. Therefore, we're basically just trying to make ends meet with that alone. That's number one. Number two is that they're not transparent with the tips, so that way we can actually make ends meet. Like, what is the problem with understanding that? No, all right, let me give my answer for why they're doing this. Top Dasher is not working. They see a lot of people who would want to either never do Top Dasher, people who will not take orders that do not have tips, or if they do, it's just to use the last couple of days of the month to qualify for Top Dasher and then never touch it again until the next month, only to realize that the better method is to use a proper scheduling system. But that's not what they're saying here at all. They're using manipulation tactics and lying to the majority of people to try to get them to actually do the order that they shouldn't be doing in the first place. How long will this pilot last? This pilot is expected to run through the end of June, but given that this is a test, it may end at any point. We'll continue to keep you informed. If it's still up, it's still up, but I sincerely doubt that most people would even use this. How can I share my feedback? We'd love to hear your feedback on this pilot program. You could share your feedback here. They're not going to base it off your feedback. They're going to base it off the results of how many people are willing to fall for it. Because if they were basing it off our feedback, they would have stopped hiding tips and paying drivers more. I have a few side notes that I want to go over before I cap off this video. Don't change your strategy for this. If DoorDash has proven anything through their actions and the integrity and character of those who work in the corporate offices, is that they are not looking out for the best interest of drivers. They are only looking out for the best interest of themselves. And they're just trying to manipulate good people who are just trying to make ends meet into taking on the expenses they don't want to pay themselves. Best to stick with the strategies we already talked about. Again, all those videos are in the description. Seriously educate yourself on how it works. Trying to combat para users. So for those of you who don't know, Para is an app where they can predict the tips before you accept. They do that by using data from the app the moment the order comes in. It works with Uber Eats and Grubhub, and that has helped a lot to make drivers more money as well. They're trying to almost give their version of that by claiming they're gonna give you better offers when they're really not. Now, I will say Para goes against the terms of service, because the way they do is that that they have to scrape data from Doordash in order to get the hidden tip before you accept the order. I used to say that I do not recommend this app at all. I 100% agree with their cause, and I used to not agree with their methods because my mindset was the ends don't justify the means. But I saw a TikTok recently that really opened my eyes to something interesting.
Why do you think other countries are so much better at protesting than us? All the fighting that we would normally do against the government, we're just doing against each other. And they are so fucking terrified of us figuring that out.
I'm still not for or against this app. What I'm saying is that you gotta do what you think is right and to use it at your own discretion. Don't bash Top Dashers for wanting this. Okay, look, some people like Top Dasher. Some people need Top Dasher because of the way their market works. Whether it's a small market with a low population or a busy market with way too many Dashers, having Top Dasher just makes them feel comfortable to actually make money on the app. I'm just tired of us fighting against one another over stupid nonsense that doesn't make sense at the end of the day. Let people live their lives the way they believe is right. When they want to change their methods, let them find this channel or channels like this and give them the tools and strategies they need to make the most money possible. But let me ask you this. What do you think about this program? Let me know in the comments. I want to make sure that all sides are heard based on the experiences of this app because I'm sure a lot of people already experienced it. I want to make sure everyone is informed on any thought process behind this program. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!